Hello, welcome to this very short InDesign tutorial to show you how to set up a new document. Right, okay, let's get straight into it. So File, New and New Document. When that pops up, you'll see that you've got quite a few different options across the top. So you can set up web pages and mobile device layouts and things. In this case, we just want to set up a new print file. You can select from different sizes, or you can type in a custom size if you want to. Make sure you change your drop down menu to the unit of measurement that you're familiar with. Mils is quite, millimeters, sorry, is quite standard. You've got your page orientation underneath, so portrait or landscape, and then you can tick facing pages. Facing pages basically it allows you to create like a two-page spread rather than single-page slides. Underneath that, you've got a really important option there to change columns and your column gutter. That's the basis of setting up a grid template. We can go into that in more detail later. And you can type in how many pages you want to start the document with, but it's not too much of a problem if you miss that out, because you can add more and more pages as you get into it. Underneath that, you've got two drop-down menus, one for margins. That allows you to set the amount of space you've got around the outside of the page, and importantly, if you've got facing pages on, your inside margin is quite important, because that's sort of where your spine would sit if you're designing a layout for a magazine. You sometimes might want to make that a little bit bigger than you would just for a flat sort of slide template. Then just underneath that, you've got options to set bleed and slug. Again, I'm not going to get into that massively now, but basically bleed and slug settings that you can set up to organise files for print. Basically, a lot of printers want you to set files up with 2, 3, or maybe up to 5 mil of bleed, which means any images that go to the edge of the page run on over the top of the paper, just so that if there's any imperfections in the print process when things are being trimmed down, you're not going to end up with white bands, or it's not going to end up chopping off part of your design. Okay, when you're happy, just hit create page, and that's going to take you to your InDesign working document. You'll see in your page palette on the right hand side all the pages you've just created. We created 8, and you can see that configurement of spreads. That's page spreads, so facing pages. Just going to click up here on the top on master pages. Now, master pages is quite a clever and quite an important feature of Adobe InDesign. Basically, anything that you apply on your master page will be affected on the rest of the document. So if you put, as I'm going to do here, just draw a black box on that background, then the left-hand pages of my entire document will automatically have a black box in the background. I suppose that's useful if you want consistent page layouts or consistent colours, or things in consistent places on different pages. You can set up multiple masters, so you can have master title pages and master content pages and things like that. And you can also do things like set it up to put page numbers in your document. So you just place page numbers in the bottom corner on your master page, and it will auto sort of paginate the rest of your document for you. Okay, so if you're not happy with your margins and columns and you want to make a change, you can adjust it just there at the top. In this case, I'm going to turn my columns down to 6, and then because it's got facing pages, I've got that issue down the spine, so I can just unlink those and make my inside margin a little bit wider, just because you're going to lose that when you create a magazine. You're going to lose that to the spine and the binding process. Thanks very much for your time. I hope this short tutorial was useful. What we would do in future tutorials is go into some of those settings in a little bit more detail and start to explore how you can expand the grid and be really experimental with your grid setup to give you some quite interesting designs. But that's it for this time. Okay, thank you. Bye.